Stop. Watch this video. Phil here again with another video from Eastern Washington. We are dead smack in the epicenter of this coronavirus, but I wanted to take this opportunity to make a quick video out there for all of you in Washington State and the rest of you throughout the nation, around the world for that matter, since this is YouTube, just to give some fact-based information about the coronavirus and in any way possible trying to get people to stop freaking out and just knee-jerk reaction to this virus. If you guys want to get some first-hand information, some accurate, awesome first-hand information about the coronavirus, please. There was an awesome podcast on Joe Rogan the other day. Matter of fact, it was episode 1439. It was Michael Osterholm. He used to work for the CDC. He literally is one of the nation's leading infectious disease people. He's a scientist. It was an awesome podcast. He preaches the fact that we do not want to send the kids home. Watch it, or excuse me, listen to it and or watch it, but fact-based stuff. There's so much misinformation out there. Also, please keep in mind, this is not a surface virus, as in you don't want to go around town licking shopping carts, but you're not going to get it from surfaces. It does last 3 days, 72 hours on a surface, but in very small quantities. You get it from conversations, you get it from the talking or hanging and socializing, or being in an area with recirculated air with somebody that's infected. As I mentioned earlier, right about a day or two before people start showing signs of the symptoms, they have the highest concentration of the virus in their mouth, saliva, basically all of your from here up bodily fluids. So if you were the camera right now and I was standing here and I was infected and we had this conversation, odds are you're going to be infected. There was a gentleman down in California that got infected. He was a limo driver. The person in the back seat of the limo had the virus. He had the window cracked down this much, and just that air, recirculated air from the limo, he ended up getting infected with the virus as well. But if you're healthy, for the most part, if you're under 60 years old, you're going to get sick if you get the virus, but it's not life-threatening, or it's usually not life-threatening unless you have some kind of autoimmune disease already or any impaired lung type stuff. If you do, you need to quarantine yourself. Just don't go out. Have people go outside for you. You're just going to have to basically face the fact that you're going to have to stay in the house. The reason why they haven't freaked out too bad is what's actually happened here today in Washington State. The number one thing he said what not to do is to close down the schools. And what's the very first thing that they did? They closed down the schools. So instant panic. Our Costco's, Walmart's, Fred Meyer's literally had lines in and around the block. Once you got in, that was just to get in to Costco and those places. And then once you got in there, there is not a piece of toilet paper, a handy wipe, a baby wipe. Basically, they've bought the store completely out. They had lines at their checkout counters all the way back into the back of the store. And all those people, literally, the virus travels from your breath, from your mouth, your eyes, your saliva. Before you start having symptoms, about a day or two before you start having symptoms, literally they tested the first 9 people that had the virus, or one of the first 9 people that had the virus, and literally the concentration of the virus in their mouth is at the highest. I mean, in mega doses, right before they have symptoms. So people running to Costco today that probably were infected, literally infected all of those people that were there at Walmart and Costco and all those places. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. And then the kids have one of the best immunities to this virus. And what are we going to do now? We have 3 kids, one of which is a baby, but 2 of which are school age. And here we go. My wife is a nurse. She's possibly going to have to work 7 days a week. I also work. So what are we going to do for daycare? Our babysitter said, heck no, she's not going to take the kids during, this time off. So here we are in a situation to where it displaces all of these parents. So at least one of the parents are going to have to stay home and or find some kind of emergency daycare. You've got these kids that were in a controlled environment. We knew where they were at. Now that they're off, do you think they're going to sit in the house and listen to their parents and sit there and watch TV all day? No, they're going to go out and about. It's literally going to spread this disease even farther. And all these people that rushed to these places, I guarantee you there was at least 5 to 10 that were infected, just hadn't shown any symptoms yet. And there we go. It's going to spread like wildfire. And not only that, we have to think about our local economy. I run a business. I'm scared to death that my employees aren't going to come into work, and or our customers are going to say, hey, we're just going to wait this out, so we're not going to have you come in and perform your service. And think about the restaurants. Think about the skating rinks, the gas stations, all the basic services that might be at risk for shutting down because their employees either are getting sick and or staying home to watch their kids. We all need to stop and calm down. Another thing that I hope that comes out of this is that we as a nation, especially the United States, basically our local, state, and federal governments, we demand that we spend some money on infrastructure, on preparedness for something like this in the future. My wife is a nurse, as I mentioned earlier. They're having to share masks and or recycle their masks. They don't have enough masks to go around. And this is just at the beginning of this virus. We have 3 confirmed cases in my town right now. Over in the Seattle area, they have about 1,500. We're just at the... Please, don't freak out. Don't go running to your Costco. Literally, you don't need 17 years worth of toilet paper. It is good to go out there and get some food stores. You want to make sure you have a little fuel. You want to make sure you have some basic medicines. So if you do get sick, you've got something to help mitigate the symptoms. But for the most part, you don't want to run out there and literally sit in those ridiculous lines. Because if somebody is infected in that area, you're going to get it. Please keep this in mind. This is an airborne disease. If somebody is infected and you're talking about the distance, about 6 feet from the camera to myself, and any length of period of time that you're talking to them, most likely you're going to get infected. Now, if you do show signs and symptoms, stay home. If you're 60 years old and above and you're in that high risk factor, please have somebody deliver you food. Make sure that they leave it at the door. Don't go downtown. You need to stay quarantined. You need to stay inside. And if you do show signs of symptoms, you need to get down to the hospital or a clinic as soon as possible, because that precious time will possibly save your life. But right now, kids have one of the best immunities. We need to keep our schools open, even though Washington State, we're now closed down for 6 weeks, which is absolutely ridiculous. That's the #1 thing that they said not to do. But our Governor Inslee, he's an absolute moron anyways, and in a knee-jerk reaction, he's now closed down the schools. But anyways, we just need to not freak out. We need to keep praying. We need to stay healthy. God bless everyone out there. And please, hit the subscribe button. At the end of the day, thank you. God bless. See you next time.